where the old church bells would ring and coffee fields danced in the breath of spring. There lived a girl named Maria in a house of white and gold, the landlord's only daughter, with a heart too bright to hold. She walked like a dream through the Santa Rosa dust, and every man who saw her gave away a little trust. But no one fell as hard as we did from the start. Two cowboys with one sunset burning in the heart.
I was strumming by the stable when she first called my name. My friend stood by the river, feeling almost just the same. She'd smile at me in moonlight, then laugh with him at dawn, and neither one of us could tell where her sweetheart had gone. We worked beneath her father on the hills of painted green, two restless souls in denim chasing one impossible dream. And every night in Bahia, under skies so soft and blue, we'd sing our songs for Maria, not knowing what love would do.
When two cowboys fell for Maria, the stars above Brazil burned wild and bright. One heart was praying for forever, one heart was breaking in the night. When two cowboys fell for Maria, the summer wind carried more than a song, for one would stay in the light beside her, and one would ride where lonely hearts belong. She wore a white dress by the lantern glow, with jasmine in her hair and nowhere else to go. She'd sit between us softly while the guitars cried low, like she was listening for an answer only heaven knows. Sometimes her hand would rest inside of mine, sometimes she'd look at him like love had found its sign. And every little silence was a knife we couldn't see, cutting through the dream we shared beneath the jacaranda trees.
Then one night the rain came hard upon the land, and I saw the truth trembling in her hands. She whispered to him gently while I stood there in the storm, and the coldest part of losing is watching love stay warm.
My brother held her close while I tipped my hat goodbye, with thunder rolling heavy through the black Bahia sky. I left without a word, just my horse and this old pain, and the road out of Santa Rosa has never felt the same. When two cowboys fell for Maria, the stars above Brazil burned wild and bright. One heart was praying for forever, one heart was breaking in the night. When two cowboys fell for Maria, the sun Maybe love was never ours to hold. Maybe some stories shine brighter when they're told. But I still hear her laughter in the fields after dark, and I still see her shadow in the corners of my heart.
He won her hand, but I kept the memory of the sweetest sorrow this old world gave to me. And every time the moon climbs over Brazil again, I go back to that summer and the way it might have been.
When two cowboys fell for Maria, the night learned how to ache and how to shine. One found love in her gentle arms, one left his dreams some way behind. When two cowboys fell for Maria, the hills still echo with her name, and every old guitar in Santa Rosa still sings of love, loss and flame. So if you hear a cowboy singing low where the warm wind blows about a girl in white that everybody knows, that's just me remembering what time could never free. The summer when Maria was everything to me. The summer wind was gentle on the hill. We danced beside the river standing still. Your laughter floated softly through the night, like fireflies painting dreams in golden light. I held your hand beneath the old oak tree. The world was ours as far as we could see, and every star above seemed shining bright to bless the love we shared that July night. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, it lit the road where we first fell in love. Though years have gone and seasons drift away, its silver glow still brings me back today. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, I hear your voice carried on the southern dust, and every lonely mile my heart goes through, the moon still shines on memories of you. The railroad tracks still run beyond the town. The old cafe still hasn't been torn down, but time has left its footprints everywhere, except the love that lingers in the air. I passed the porch where we would sit for hours, watching twilight settle on the flowers. And though your shadow faded long ago, your memory remains within my soul. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, it lit the road where we first fell in love. Though years have gone and seasons drift away, its silver glow still brings me back today. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, I hear your voice carried on the southern dust. And every lonely mile my heart goes through, the moon still shines on memories of you. Maybe somewhere under that same sky, you still think of those days gone by. And maybe when the midnight breezes blow, you feel the love we used to know. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, its light still falls on fields of faith and trust. Though life has led us down different roads, our story lies where the moonlight glows. When the Tennessee moon remembered us, it wrapped our dreams in its timeless touch. And until the stars fade from the blue, that Tennessee moon will remember me and you. Under the Tennessee moon tonight, your memory shines so clear and bright, like a love that never truly said goodbye. I could see you there. Oh, Bahia, under your golden sky, two cowboys rode in, but only one heart could win. I first saw her by the mango trees, barefoot in the warm Atlantic breeze. Daughter of a rich old cattle king, with sunlight in her hair and spring in everything. She smiled at me like the morning smiles at dawn. And from that day my lonely road was gone. But I didn't know my brother in the dust had fallen for her too, as all good men must. I heard her laughing by the coral gate. I got him the stars had learned to imitate. She wore a white dress, soft as Sunday rain, and I knew my heart would never be the same. We were two wild riders on the landlord's land, working sunburned fields with calloused hands. But when she looked our way beneath the evening sun, it felt like heaven had come for everyone. In Bahia nights where the moon hangs low, by the silver river where the wildflowers grow, we sang our songs beneath her window light. Two shadows in love on the same warm night. Two cowboys, one heart in Bahia, one girl with the stars in her eye. We gave her our songs, our hope and our sorrow, under the blue of those Brazilian skies. Two cowboys, one dream in the moonlight, one love neither of us could hide. But when the dawn came over the valley, only one would stand by her side. She sit beside me when I played guitar, talking about freedom and places far. She said this world feels bigger when you sing, and I swore I heard wedding bells in the wind. But every time she whispered his name, I felt the fire and the hurt the same, like a horse running wild through my chest, knowing love don't always choose the one who loves best. I never meant to steal what we both found, but love can bloom on unforgiving ground. She'd hold my hand when the night turned cold, and in that touch the truth was softly told. Still I saw the pain in my brother's eyes, like rain clouds gathering over paradise. And every note we sang around the fire carried both devotion and desire. In Bahia nights where the moon hangs low, by the silver river where the wildflowers grow, we sang our songs beneath her window light. Two shadows in love on the same warm night. Two cowboys, one heart in Bahia, one girl with the stars in her eyes. We gave her our songs, our hope and our sorrow, under the blue of those Brazilian skies. Two cowboys, one dream in the moonlight, one love neither of us could hide. But when the dawn came over the valley, only one would stand by her side. That night on the porch when the thunder rolled in, I knew in my soul I was not gonna win. She reached for his hand while the rain kissed the ground, and my world went silent without making a sound. I wanted to tell him I never meant pain, that love sometimes blooms in the middle of rain. He tipped his hat low, said take good care of her smile, then rode through the darkness for 1,000 miles. And Bahia kept glowing beneath heaven's flame. But nothing in our lives would ever be the same. Two cowboys, one heart in Bahia. One stayed, one disappeared in the night. One found her kiss by the old hacienda. One chased the moon in the pale lantern light. Two cowboys, one heart in the mag. Santa Rosa, where the moonlight kissed the fields, and one woman changed the hearts of two cowboys forever. I came to Santa Rosa with dust on my boots, a weathered hat, a guitar, and a road-worn truth. The landlord owned the valley, the cattle and the grain, but his daughter walked the earth like sunshine after rain. She had ribbons in her hair and grace in every move, a soft white dress and eyes the color of the blue. And when she smiled at me across that chapel yard, I knew right then she'd leave her mark upon my heart. I saw her by the river where the jacarandas bloom. The whole sky turned to gold beneath the afternoon. She laughed like summer breezes dancing through the cane, and I swore I'd never hear a sweeter sound again. But we were just hired hands beneath her father's reign, two cowboys with old gleams and carrots thrown the pole. But every evening when she'd wander by the gate, it felt like fate was standing there, asking us to wait. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, the rose of every midnight serenade. And under lantern light beside the old veranda, we both fell in love with promises she never made. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, with moonlight in her eyes and fire in her soul. Two cowboys sang beneath her window, while the night wind carried stories through the gold. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, too beautiful for either heart to hide. And somewhere in the hush of that Brazilian summer, we knew that only one would stand there by her side. She'd ask me for a love song by the stable every night, while the horses slept beneath the pale starlight. She'd say, play me something soft, something true, and every word I sang was only meant for you. But then I'd see her watching him with tender eyes, like she had found her future in the dark Bahia sky. And though she'd hold my hand when the evening turned cold, I could feel another story in the silence she controlled. I never tried to steal what heaven chose to give, but every time she whispered, it felt like I could live. She told me she was tired of the life she'd always known, of being caged in velvet, never free to roam. She dreamed about the ocean and a house beyond the hills, where love could be simple and the world would just be still. And when she leaned against me by the sugar cane at dusk, I knew my heart was hers no matter what it cost. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, the rose of every midnight serenade. And under lantern light beside the old veranda, we both fell in love with promises she never made. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, with moonlight in her eyes and fire in her soul. Two cowboys sang beneath her window, while the night wind carried stories through the gold. She was the landlord's daughter of Santa Rosa, too beautiful for either heart to hide. And somewhere in the hush of that Brazilian summer, we knew that only one would stand there by her side. Then came the storm on a restless July night, thunder rolling low beneath the silver light. She stood there on the porch with tears upon her face, and I knew by the trembling in her hands I'd lost my place. She walked to me slowly while the warm rain fell, like a secret only heaven dared to tell. But I looked at my brother with a heart full of pain, because no man should win if it means another breaks in vain. Still the moon over Santa Rosa kept shining bright, on one heart staying and one heart riding in. In a village where the lanterns softly sway, by the hills where golden coffee flowers lay, there was a mansion standing proud above the fields, and a girl with eyes so warm no heart could shield. Her father owned the land, the cattle, and the sky, while we were just two cowboys riding by. But every night beneath that southern silver light, we'd hear her laughter dancing through the night. She'd walk the veranda in a white cotton dress, with the wind in her hair and the stars in a mess. And both of our hearts knew the danger was share. Under the Brazilian moon we loved her, by the river and the roses in the dark. Two lonely cowboys with one fire burning, and her name was written on each broken heart. Under the Brazilian moon we held on to a dream too beautiful to ever last. One girl, two hearts, one summer of sorrow, a love too bright to stay out on the past. John played the sixth string by the stable gate. I'd sing low and slow while the evening waited. She would smile and sit between our borrowed songs, like she knew that both our souls were hanging on. She smelled like rain on the red earth after June, and jasmine blooming underneath the moon. She'd talk about freedom past her father's name, and we'd pretend our hearts were not a-flying. But the richer the dream, the harder it falls, like shadows of horses on old plaster walls. And deep in the silence where the night birds cry, we knew only one of us could stay by her side. Under the Brazilian moon we loved her, by the river and the roses in the dark. Two lonely cowboys with one fire burning, and her name was written on each broken heart. Under the Brazilian moon we held on to a dream too beautiful to ever last. One girl, two hearts, one summer of sorrow, a love too bright to stay out on the past. Then one night the thunder rolled over the plain. She was crying on the porch in the warm summer rain. Said, I never meant to make two good men fall, but I can't fight the truth inside my heart at all. She reached for his hand while she looked back at me, like a sunset sinking low through the eucalyptus trees. And I smiled through the pain, though it tore me apart, 'cause love ain't always losing, sometimes it's leaving with heart. Under the Brazilian moon we loved her, and the memory still rides the midnight wind. One found her arms, one rode away with signs, but we both were changed by the shape she left within. Under the Brazilian moon she loved him, and I let that old dream drift into the blue. Still the stars over Brazil keep shining softly on the night we lost her, and the night we loved her too. So if you hear a cowboy singing near the pines about a girl who made the whole world shine, that's just an old heart chasing what it knew. Under the Brazilian moon, I still remember you. The autumn leaves were falling one by one along the road where our love had begun. The old dirt trail still winds beneath the sky, through the whispering pines where dreams don't die. I walked that path again this afternoon, beneath the pale and lonely harvest moon, and every breeze that drifted through the trees carried your memory back to me. Your name still echoes through the pines like an old love song left behind. Every rustling branch, every gentle sigh calls your memory through the night. Your name still echoes through the pines, across these hills and through my mind. Though years have passed and seasons changed, my heart still hears your name. The little cabin by the creek remains, weathered by the years and summer rains. The porch swing moves though no one's sitting there, as if your spirit lingers in the air. I can almost see your smiling face, standing in that long-forgotten place where promises were carved into our souls like roots beneath the forest floor. Your name still echoes through the pines like an old love song left behind. Every rustling branch, every gentle sigh calls your memory through the night. Your name still echoes through the pines, across these hills and through my mind. Though years have passed and seasons changed, my heart still hears your name. If love could travel on the evening wind, it would find its way to you again, and tell you that through every passing year, the sound of you is still right here. Your name still echoes through the pines like church bells ringing through old times. Every star that shines above tonight seems to spell your name in light. Your name still echoes through the pines, through every memory I can't leave behind. And until these mountains touch the sky no more, I'll hear your name forevermore. The night grows still, the fire burns low, the pine trees whisper soft and slow, and in the silence of the countryside, your name still echoes through the pines. I was riding through the morning mist, where the valley glowed beneath the sun's first kiss, when I saw her standing by the pasture gate, like heaven had arrived a little too late. She was the daughter of the man who owned the land, the cattle, the horses, the river and the sand. But she smiled at me like I was more than dust and boots, and my heart took root where the wild roses grew. I met her in the hills at the edge of Santa Luz, where the breeze smelled sweet with rain and eucalyptus bloom. She was humming to herself beneath the sky of gold, and I felt a kind of fire no man can hold. I was just another cowboy with a borrowed room, living by the saddle and the rising moon. But when she turned and called me by my name, the whole wide world would never be the same. In the heart of Brazil, where the night birds fly, under lantern stars and a velvet sky, we both fell hard for the same sweet flame, and neither one of us would leave unchanged. Love rode in from the Brazilian hills, with her hair in the wind and a heart so wild. Two cowboys stood in the shadow of heaven, both undone by the landlord's child. Love rode in from the Brazilian hills, like a song carried soft on the summer breeze. But one girl, one heart, and two men dreaming can break even the strongest memories. She'd ask me to play by the porch at night, while the moon poured silver on the countryside. I'd sing her old love songs in a trembling key, hoping somehow she was hearing me. But every glance she gave him cut me deep, like a promise made in silence I could never keep. Still I held on to every word she said, even when I knew my hope was hanging by a thread. She told me once she feared her father's name. All the wrath in the world still felt like chains. She dreamed about a little house beyond the ridge, where love could live without a golden cage. When she leaned against my shoulder in the dark, I felt her heartbeat striking like a spark. But I saw the sorrow in my brother's eyes, and knew our fate was written in the sky. In the heart of Brazil, where the night birds fly, under lantern stars and a velvet sky, we both fell hard for the same sweet flame, and neither one of us would leave unchanged. Love song carried soft on the summer breeze. But one girl, one heart, and two men dreaming can break even the strongest memories. Then came the night, the thunder shook the plains, and I saw forever vanish in the rain. She reached for him with tears upon her face, and I knew I'd lost the one I could not replace. I wanted to stop the hurt inside his chest, but love had already made its choice and left the rest. He tipped his hat and whispered, "Treat her kind," then rode into the dark and out of time. Still the hills of Brazil keep echoing low with the song of a love only kind roars grew. Love rode in from the Brazilian hills and left one heart dancing, one heart in pain. One cowboy found forever in an arms, one disappeared like dust before the rain. Love rode in from the Brazilian hills, and the old guitars still remember her name. When the moon hangs low on the ranch of sorrow, you can still hear the sound of that flame. So if you hear a lonely voice where the valley lies still, singing to the wind from the old Brazilian hills, that's just a cowboy